What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. A few minutes late here, but we are here. Margo, not sure if you sent the messenger out and email out, but if you could, go ahead and do that. We are live on YouTube for the first time, trying it out. Let's see if it works here. Looks like we're live. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We play the videos and we put them on there. So if you're not catching them in the Facebook group, we do put some of those over on YouTube, also on the podcast. But today's topic of discussion is how to take your agency virtual. A lot of things going on right now. I've successfully done it over the past year and a half to an extent.
Yeah.
You're talking to customers now, and they're literally, I got a customer, 130 employees, and he's basically told me yesterday, we're going to figure out if we can get out of our lease. We haven't paid rent, and you know what? I like this better, and we could save $1 million on rent.
Do a story. I mean, do any kind of Google search on looking at the news stories of major corporations, and they're all looking like, hey, man, we don't need this expensive AAA office in the downtown because we can work remotely. And so, you know, everybody's coming to that realization that maybe this overhead isn't real. Now, we got to qualify this now. The virtual agency isn't like some of you out there who virtually work. Right? Well, if the phone rings, I pick it up. You know, that's not a virtual agency that we're talking about.
You know, we can talk about, I mean, we're essentially virtually when we're in our cars, things like that. But I think taking your people virtual as well as yourself and your team, I think it's going to be more accepted than anything at any other time, right?
Yep.
Talking to customers, it's like, you know, hey, where are you? At your home? Yeah, sorry, the dog's barking in the background, this, that. Yeah, no problem. Or even as I've been traveling, you know, my customers know, hey, I'm in California, but I'm from New Jersey. Hey, where are you? Oh, you're there right now. Okay, so yeah, call me when you get back if that's when you want to get together. There's never been a pushback whatsoever, not a peep. We don't realize that as advisors, all the under industries, they function with people around the country, salespeople, service people. Yeah. They're never local.
Hey, Digital Insurance made their bones starting out buying all of the big national houses, small group books of business, and they did it all virtually. They had reps who would email and telephone all of the small group renewals, and they bought all of the big houses benefits, and they would have like one rep doing 1,000+ cases for renewal, all virtual. That was 15 years ago. So, you know, this stuff can be done. This pandemic is kind of forcing the issue.
So hey, what's up to everybody in the crowd here? Steven, Grant, Sherry, Chad, Vonda, Murray, Spencer, Charlotte, Joe Deacon. What's up, buddy? Today's show sponsored none other than Achieve Health Alliance. Go ahead and check us out at achievealliance.com. Consortium's growing fast. Let's take a look at some of your 10-1, 11-1s, 12-1s, 1-1s coming up to see if they're fit for the program. Reach out to us on the website. But back to the topic of discussion today, I thought it'd be a good one, and I got some notes here written down on some ideas and stuff that I've learned and some tips. Listen, guys, this doesn't apply to everything and everybody. You know, is a 50, 100-person agency going to be so easy to convert in this time? You know, maybe you might be functioning that way now. Why not take advantage of it? But what we're talking about today, it just doesn't apply. Everything doesn't apply to everyone is what I'm going to say, right?
Yeah.
I'm a smaller firm, and this stuff worked and was easy for me. It may not be so much for you, but I'd call bullshit on a lot of you because look what's happened. You were forced to go virtual. You were forced to do it, and you did it. Everybody's, you know,
I'm a
Zoom
perfect
videos.
example, right? Hell, I flew 200,000 miles a year the last 3 years. I've flown next to Bupkis this year because I'm doing Zoom meetings, and I've mastered the Zoom meeting. So, look, you can teach an old dog new tricks. It's an old 20th century bullshit story that people told themselves. So,
what I want to say for a second is
go ahead.
Let me object to you there is I still think we can do the sales meetings in person, but we manage virtually, right? We could do sales virtually, But you and I both know face to face, there's nothing better than it.
There's nothing better than face to face.
But then once they come as a client, I think you've got to pitch to them the virtual thing, or call it, hey, XYZ Corporation, or I could say my retail, Questige, a virtual agency. Put it out there. We're virtual. It almost sounds cool. Now is the best time for it to be accepted. Hey, listen, let's during the COVID time, we worked offline and virtually, and we were much more productive. It worked great for us, so we actually continued with it. I mean, nobody comes to our office. The only customers that come to my office are the ones that, they're smaller. The big customers aren't coming to your office, so what are you worrying about?
Mom and pop businesses that are local to you, right? I mean, look at it this way. So if you're John's age, guys, so I've got 2 offices, big office in Pittsburgh, small office in SoCal.
I almost shit when I found out how much money he pays here in SoCal for his office. I was like, what?
Yeah, $60,000 a year for office rent. Okay, so just do this, $54,000 even. And so here's the math, guys. So if you're John's
just the rent,
age,
that doesn't include all the other bullshit.
That's just rent. That's $54,000 in cash flow. You know how much marketing you can frickin' do for that, right? If you were virtual, because you don't need an office, because you need the big conference room. That's all BS. Okay, we're establishing that. Everybody should know that. There shouldn't be any resistance. Now, if you're a guy my age and you're looking at the short window, right, and you're going, gee, at 12x, 54,000, 541.8, that's $648,000 of payout. If it's not overhead, it's profit. If it's profit, I'm getting 12x as an example, or 10x, $540,000. So instead of rent, whoever buys the agency, so to speak, right, would pay $540,000 in the price tag. Now, do you want that so you can hang a shingle and have this image? Or would you rather be a virtual agency? For those of you who are older and looking at short time windows, convert that into profit and you'll make multiples on that for your retirement income.
We're skipping. I guess maybe I had it out of order. I wanted to talk about different strategies to do it, but I guess maybe let's just jump to the benefits, because that's what Craig's doing here. I mean, if you look at the WeWorks and places like that, you can establish something for $1,000 a month, $800 a month, where you get a certain amount of time, and then you pay more if you want to use the conference center, which you're never going to use anyway, and have a mailbox or a virtual
and they have
caller
sweet tech.
that answer.
They got the big bandwidth pipe on the internet connection.
Yeah,
it's all done for you.
So you can have everything that you want. So let's talk about the benefits. Obviously, I put work from anywhere. Whoever thought, again, a guy that never took a vacation, I don't know, 7 years? No lie. Now, I'm single, no kids, but never did, and then picked my shit up and went to California. And, yeah, I still go back and forth, but never thought in a million years I can't even go on a vacation, let alone pick my shit up and move across the country. So
Dumbass.
You can work from anywhere you want. You want to have that vacation home and spend more time there? Yeah. Well, if you're set up properly, you can do that. All you have to be is set up to work. Craig said to me when I took that first vacation, he was like, wait till you find out that you can work on vacation.
You can work from anywhere.
Yeah. I was working in Thailand. I was in Thailand. I was still taking calls, and I was 15 hours ahead. I might have been a little tipsy, but
yeah, I
was able to take those certain calls I needed to.
Yeah, next time when you do the Zoom calls from Thailand, make sure the girls are out of the picture. Okay, just do us a favor. It's TMI.
No jacuzzi ones?
no jacuzzi ones. Yeah, because I guarantee you I'm doing Zoom calls next year from Hawaii. At some point in time, I'm doing prospect Zoom calls from the beach in Hawaii.
You make them a little jealous. Listen, people, we were all wrong. I was wrong. Craig changed my way of thinking. Seth Denson joined us here on YouTube. Shout out to Seth. He's the only one on YouTube. He says, fewer than 30% of my clients are in Texas. Hey, shout out to Texas right here.
Yo.
Hook 'em. 80% of my business is virtually closed. So guy that's been doing it because he was forced to do it because he does some referral business with shops around the country. So he was forced to figure it out. So where most of us are local and we're prospecting all over, he got opportunities around the country, figured it out. Correct me if I'm wrong. Flexible hours. Think about it when you're virtually, you're not constrained to a certain computer, desk, and where you need to be, even as employees. Think about the flexibility for employees. Now, customer service reps are going to need to be there to answer the phone calls, or do they need to be there to answer during those hours? Because my employees, we have Ring Central, and you just download the app on your phone. Here's your office phone. It rings right to your cell phone. You don't need an office phone anymore. So talk about flexibility. When you're hiring a new person, we're in a tough labor market. How nice would it be to work virtually? Maybe you're in later in your career. You want to work from home. Would it be helpful? You spend more time with your kids. Your travel time's an hour away. Now think about the people and the talent that you can hire. You can hire somebody in another state instead of crazy California where the cost of living is high, where it could be $20,000 less to hire somebody in Mississippi.
Yeah, that reminds me. Check out wave.com. WAHVE. We've talked about it 100 videos ago, but Wave is an association of retired healthcare executives, right? So they got skills, they got knowledge, they're retired, they want to work part-time. Need somebody with skills? If you're somebody like John, who's like half vampire, right? He needs flexible work hours because the California time zone kills him because he's a Jersey boy. All right, so
I'm already 3 hours behind the clock, and I'm not an early bird.
Now you know why we're drinking wine, because to John, it's 3 hours ahead.
There you go. But yeah, so back to some of the benefits: flexible hours, family time, rent costs. Craig already covered. Lowers your liability having office staff and problems with employees.
No more EPLI claims.
Slow down. Could they come anywhere? Make sure you got your EPLI insurance. But no, the reality is there's a lot of benefits. Listen, there's disadvantages. Okay, there's going to be disadvantages, but the bigger companies that are trillion-dollar conglomerates do it. So why can't my brother? He works in Japan, and his team is in California, and his new buddy's in Texas that works for him, and they're not even on the same time zone schedule. They just know, hey, he's going to get back to me a certain time. We all think, and I've always thought, is I got to answer right away. Now I don't even answer really, really big clients or even prospects sometimes. I don't answer them the same. I don't answer them right away. It's not that important. So, unless they call me and it's something urgent, then
exactly
it's not that important like we think it is. So those are some of the benefits, guys, that I want you to think about. And we talk about on here how to close more sales, how to market better so you can live a better life, get more of what you want, get more out of life, and not be the way that we have to be as we thought we were as advisors.
Yeah. Or the people that you watched as maybe a mentor and you're thinking, wow, man, they got it figured out, right? Because usually it's really just a function of the size of their book and you're thinking, wow, they figured it out. And, I know some people who have books of business that are 8 figures. They don't have a life. They haven't had a life in years. 10 million plus book.
And they have no life.
No personal life. I mean, it's just constantly on the phone, late to everything, always overbooked. Now, if that's the definition of living, fine. I got no problem. I'm not judging anybody, but you can have it all because this is a business that affords you to get paid based on results and outcomes, and that's what makes it awesome. If you can produce the results and the outcomes, shoot, they don't care if you work 2 hours or 2 days or 2 weeks a month. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Get me what I need.
Yeah, you're able to do that without having to be in front of them, especially from the management side, because that's where it's tougher is managing. And the fact that they're used to working with an account manager anyway, put something in front of them, video. Let's go to tools. Let's go. I've got some tools here that we're going to go over. So first and foremost,
show and tell.
I'm going to give the cheap. I'm going to give you an easy route to take it virtual. And these are things that you could send your clients, right? So these are things that they may not have it. I think they might now, but you can use it. So here's a popular camera. It's a Logitech. They're probably sold out. They're $60, $70. But I saw them going for like $450 during the pandemic because they were all sold out. But you can get a standard one. It doesn't have to be the greatest. Yours might want to be a little better. If you send one of the customers, send a $40 one. But simple. I don't, and we go back and watch how to do a Zoom video to figure out how to adjust the camera because you don't want to be having on a certain angle. Here's a tabletop tripod that you can put it on because I always like to have it eye level. This is like $20 on Amazon. You can do it off a laptop. But, again, you see how I'm sized in here and my head level and I'm right in the middle. Do it like that. Don't come up on an angle and down the bottom of the laptop or you're 20 feet away.
Nothing worse than looking up somebody's nose.
And there's a window behind your head with light coming in. You want light coming this way. But, 2 simple tools here from a video standpoint. Even Craig's using it, right, Craig?
Every day, brother. Every day. Last year, never did it. this year all the time. And hey, and if you look at some of the people here. If you look like Kimmy Eckelbarger, get a high def camera. If you look like Todd Hudson, hey Todd, get a low def camera.
Todd said, I'm going to be working on an RV in a few weeks. See? That's it, guys. That's it. Here's a cool piece that, okay, you can even do it on vacation. John, what do I do on vacation?
Oh, those are cool.
You could bring it, but this thing you can put a light on, so you have a light in front of you. You could put your phone here, and you can do your Zoom over your phone. It's actually a better camera than most of your laptops, and you can have a piece. One important thing is I hate the computer sound through Zoom, so if you have you can have a setup where you're taking it on the road type of thing, or you can have standard setup like we have. We have multiple setups here. This one is the easiest to use. You sit down, it's plug and play. So when it's plug and play, have it a little nicer and more professional. Your bigger meetings, you want to do that. This is a simple USB mic. This is a lapel mic. Connect it here, okay? Plug this into the computer. Use this mic. It's a lot clearer. You don't sound a mile away. Better quality. Had to get one for Craig. Craig sounded like he was yelling from 10 feet away. And I was the only person that was on it enough to tell him that, Craig, you sound like shit. You know that? Nobody's ever said nothing to me. I go, well, they're not from New Jersey.
Yeah, perfect. Hey, and for those people from Kentucky, would you explain what a lapel is?
That would be this thing right here.
If you wear a coat,
if you wear
that
coat,
little flap
lapel
right
mic,
there. That's called a lapel.
You guys might want to put it on your collar. And then this cool thing here is with Zoom, you don't have to because there's no feedback that comes in the thing, but you could use, this can plug right into the lapel mic. It plugs into the mic on the USB, has a plug for headset. So you can just hide this over here like you're on TV. So just some easy tools that you can use. Obviously, you're going to want to have a laptop. Most people are not smart enough to do this, but you need to be Ethernet connected when you're using a Zoom. It's video quality. It's somewhat of a stream, and it puts work on your computer. And the internet, Wi-Fi, no matter how good it is, it bounces in and out. So use a direct connection when you can to avoid that.
When you can, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Zoom the quality has gone down because of the users. I mean, if you watch the Belford video we did, the quality just wasn't there. It was delayed, and that was just a function of their capacity of not being able to handle it. That's why we spend so money to give you guys good quality on here now. You go on YouTube, Facebook 720, YouTube right now, we're streaming on. Check it out, 1080p.
Ray Kober says he's going to be prospecting from the U.S. Virgin Islands next year. Beautiful.
Well, if you saw, we talked about it last week. What's the country that they're telling you to move to?
Get a tan on your head, too, there, Ray. Hey, Barbados, 12-month working visa. You can come and chill in Barbados and do all your calls from there.
You go back once a month for 2-3 days. You bang out your renewals. Maybe 1 month's not as bad. You can have a pretty good life doing things virtual, having your team virtual, having it set up. So let's talk about some more of the ideas here, right? So we talked about tools, automation. Automate as much as you can. The reality is there's tools and things out there. There's a program called Zapier, Zapier, that pretty much can connect any program to any program. Your CRM to your appointment calendar that links to your calendar. People schedule calendar invites. It goes to your calendar. It syncs into the CRM, so it knows you talked to them on that date. It can record the call. This, that, and the other. Everything under the sun. Signatures. You got things like DocuSign and all these different signature programs where you don't have to send it. They print it out. It's just electronic signature is what you can do now versus the whole back and forth of printing out and dragging stuff down. That's a pain in the ass.
You mean when you sign the consulting agreement, you don't need to be there? You could just send it to them and say, sign the agreement, send it back?
Sign here.
Along with my ACH deposit form? Oh, beautiful.
Sign here.
Hey, Rod's out there. He's pitching from the Cayman Islands.
Very nice, Rod. Lucky man. Communication is going to be huge. So we talked about Zoom. That may be with clients. That may be weekly meetings with your employees. Helping develop the culture. I mean, my brother's working for a large corporation, and they're doing virtual happy hours just to get some camaraderie.
Isn't that what this is?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
This is our way for the independents, right? This is the independent happy hour. Think about it. The bigger companies do this stuff, so we're doing it for you. Oh, by the way, this wine today Shout out to Kevin O'Kane, Buena Vista. Get it at Costco, Napa Valley. Really good, $35. It's like comparative to $200 bottle of wine. Where was I? Communication. Oh,
yeah.
Slack, Voxer. We use Voxer a lot with, hey, our marketing. Margot does a great job. She's out in Russia. You can do things by Voxer. They're on different time schedule, although I don't think she ever sleeps.
Margot.
Yeah, you can connect with them and have a centralized location where no more emails. Limit the amount of emails. So just another way to think about it. There's Microsoft Teams. There's so many different programs on there.
Yeah.
You'd fall asleep if I named
Blue
them all.
Jeans, GoToMeeting. Yeah, WebEx, Zoom. Microsoft Teams is really popular for large companies doing internal LANs communication, not as much external. I'm on these calls all the time, so I see what the big companies are using.
Teams.
Yeah. Teams.
Automation, right? So CRM. If you haven't had CRM, definitely have it. Storage center. Maybe you got a place. Take your files online. I mean, since I've started, everything has been online, so I don't even know what it's like to have a file cabinet other than for prospects I'm working out of.
Yep.
Manual stuff. Other than that, everything's online. Shred it. Move on.
Yeah. I do business. I learned how to do business over the last 3 years from airplanes. It's like, oh, you need a file? No, I'll share it with you. No problem. Everybody's always been amazed. How, you're on the plane all the time. How do you communicate? Like Wi-Fi, baby. Yeah.
I mean, I've done business with people I know for years, and I like better than people I've met, and I've never even met them.
Yeah.
So you can develop that trust just like we've developed it with some of you guys out there that have done business with us virtually. So just think, you just got to put yourself out there. And again, the whole reason we're talking about this is take advantage of opportunities. Profitability. Those that don't know, early in my life, when I first started my entrepreneur, I think I was 18, and I worked one day in landscape, and I said, shit. I was working at ShopRite making $222 a week, working 32 hours a week. And I worked one day with a guy, and we worked 6 hours, and I think he made $700 cash. I was like, how much money did you make that? 700. I was like, cash? Today? Starting a landscaping company. Start a landscaping company. Point of the story is profitability tied into when you cut lawns, how close are your customers, not spending time where? In the truck with your employees. When you're spending time in the truck, you're losing money. So when I got to get in the truck and drive the next customer, I lose money. So if I could get so many people on a street, I could ride the lawnmower from 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. So just think about the time savings that you could get and get back. Forget about even just from a profitability standpoint, but just back in your life. So let's just say you're not marketing and prospecting that much, and you just want to have a better life and more time with your family. You want to cool down because you're an old man like Craig here. You might only want to work a couple hours a day. Not Craig, but maybe you do. And now you don't have to drive all over the freaking place to these meetings, and you can do it through Zoom and get your time back. Again, profitability. Think of employees.
Or hire a driver. Hire a driver. If you're in Montana and Utah and Wyoming and Idaho and in states where you got to drive, it's like, wow, this one's 200 miles away. This one's 100 miles away. Nebraska. Oh, my God. I know brokers there, right? Just hire a freaking driver. You can work the whole way there. Let somebody else drive. It's not worth your time.
Show me the money.
Yeah. It's all about what's the highest and best use of your time. What is the highest velocity cash flow activity you can work on? If you're not working on it, the answer's in the mirror. You're lying to yourself. Highest velocity cash flow activities. That's the key to success.
Yeah, so you've got employees. Listen, with the economy the way it was, I interviewed account managers where I started.
Yeah.
$140,000 salary plus bonus, tapping out 160, 170. I'm like, what?
To pick up the phone.
What? Well, I do everything. Do you go out and sell the accounts too? I mean, that's what you're competing against with some of the bigger houses because of their compensation models. And God bless them. I wish I was on those bonus programs. I wouldn't be mad at them, but they have the ability to do that. So you've got to be competitive to find out what is it that your employee or future employee, prospective employee wants. Maybe they want to work from home because the hour is kicking them ass. How much money do they save in gas and travel time and car and all that stuff? That's something that could come off your salary, their salary, to be more competitive if they want something like that. So just another idea of taking advantage of making it virtually. What does Ray say? The Genovese crime family shook John down for his landscaping customers. True story. Yeah, it was cutthroat. Even in landscaping, it was cutthroat, man. People were knocking on your customers' doors. I would see guys in the street. I would be cutting on the lawn. They'd be on the other lawn. I'd wait for them to leave. I'd knock on the customer door and say, hey, can I give you an estimate? We were giving free estimates back then. That was kind of thing.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing on there? Share with us. Share with the group. It is actually, I know we're cutthroat. Nobody likes to share in this community, but share what you guys are doing in the chat below. If you're listening on the podcast, make sure to check us out in the private Facebook group and on YouTube now. If we can keep the stream going here. Pretty good. Seth says, I had a Sprinter van and a driver a couple times. A couple of years ago. It was pretty great. Yeah. Craig's son, right, High Stakes Advising. Those that don't know, High Stakes Advising is currently postponed. We're going to get back to you at a date. We're either going to do it at the end of September or January, so stay tuned for that. Waiting for things to clear up here. Craig, tell us about your son's Sprinter van.
Yeah, he had a client engage him and said, look, instead of paying you a fee, I'm going to buy you a custom-made Sprinter van. So he made him a, the damn thing, I can stand up in it, right? It's got 7 seats, massaging, three big screen TVs, and, all custom made, got his initials in the seats, and we call it the LACmobile now. So, for the High Stakes Advising guys, yeah, it's 6 figures cost. And so the guy's like, hey, I can write you a check or I can buy you this and know that you're going to answer my calls when I call. Smart guy, right? He said, look, I'm going to do something so freaking unique that's going to help you differentiate your business. So now if my son's got to go to LA or go to the Business Rockstar studio, he just calls up the driver shows up, takes him there. He works the whole way.
Yeah, I think you could find an Uber driver to drive you around in a Sprinter van for more than they make on Uber. So just another thought, another idea. Again, if you got ideas, share them down below. Virtual assistant. If you guys aren't using virtual assistants, I think you might be missing out as well, especially on tasks that you may not want to do. You can get people in the Philippines. We had a virtual assistant. She still works for us, but at one point she was full-time, $500 a month, and that's a ton of money to them. So, and it's just random tasks or tasks that you don't want to do, and you can delegate down, or your employees that are higher level, you want to take things out of their hands, and it's a cheaper way to staff somebody and get some things done. So, just another idea. What Todd say? I worked in a car today on my hotspot while my wife drove. Yeah, that's another way. You can do it through a hotspot. I think you can hotspot on your phone. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
They have those. They used to have those separate hotspots, so I guess you can do that directly on your phone.
Yeah, it's on your iPhone for sure.
If you're watching on YouTube, say hello. Want to see who's there in the chat because it does not show me who's on. But
Spencer Gould, you're a smart guy. Yeah, share with us some of your virtual strategies, your virtual techniques. It works. A lot of different ways to leverage your time and your money.
Yeah, onboarding customers. Another way to do it is, you saw if you've looked at the consortium with us, I built an online portal to collect the data because I got tired of the insufficient information going back and forth. This is missing, that's missing. Can you get me that? And just lay it out. Let them put it into the information instead of you having to collect it each time, or, onboarding forms where it can use Zapier. They're filling your information and it actually automates up into your CRM, so you're not doing it on a manual basis. So there's all different ways that you can do that. But guys, again, not everything may apply to you. Pick up some ideas. This is the time to do it. I can't think of a better time. I thought of it today and just said, you know what, screw this. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to be virtual, and I'm going to travel a little bit more. I've got employees all over now, and it's working for me. If you need to have everybody in the office, listen, can they be more productive in the office? I don't know. I think if you get the right people and they get the job done, I think you'll be okay. If you want to have an office, that's great. Maybe it could be more of a part-time where certain days are off, or maybe you're working 4 days a week and 1 day home. So, but figure it out. And Craig, you're one of your main company. It's got 50-something employees or something, and they're across the country.
Yeah, we've got some, all over the place. We got a big cell in Pittsburgh, PA, but outside of that, All that matters is that you get the outcomes. There's two different economies, everybody. There's the time and effort economy and the results economy. The time and effort economy is the people that we have to work with at insurance companies. They pick up the phone. Maybe they do it. Maybe they don't. Maybe they follow up. Maybe they do what they say they're going to do. Maybe they don't. They get a check every Friday. Doesn't matter. Time and effort economy. We live in the results economy. So one of the things you need to do, John referenced earlier, right? Shit, you don't need to call back. For a 1, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being nothing, 10 being big, don't call back a 1 in 5 minutes like you have nothing to do, like you're just sitting there waiting. So you train your clients to think you have nothing better to do but wait on them, right? That's not reality. You have to train your clients. A 1 is a 1, a 10 is a 10. You're going to get responded to commensurately. So the question at the end of the day is, hey, what's the best way to run your agency? What this pandemic has done is shown everybody that you can do it virtually because the major corporations in America are doing it. Shit, they're selling their real estate in order to save money and drop that to the bottom line. There's probably a lesson in there for us in this industry.
Joe Bickley says, what's up on YouTube? He says, in Kentucky, we only wear collarless shirts. I bet. You got nice boats. I seen John Clay out on his boat the other day. A little jealous. Don't have a boat yet, but actually, I probably don't want one. I'd rather rent it. But I don't got John Clay money.
It's a hole in the water surrounded by fiberglass. That's called a boat. Yeah. It eats money. Yeah.
Money pit.
Expensive toy.
Best line, Craig. I want to bet Craig's best line. Either you train your clients or your clients train you. And I've slowly had to train him over this transition. I don't know where I'll be next year. Another state. Who knows? But, it works. So try it out there, guys. What else we got, Craig?
Yeah. Anybody with daughters out there, right? We'll make sure John gives an announcement before he decides which state he's going to live in, and we'll warn you all.
Keep them away.
Yeah.
John Clay on. Let's see here. Josh Hyman joined. Donovan out in Florida. Donovan, how's the heat down there? I heard it's getting pretty hot down there in Florida. The weather out here in California, what do we say? High 72, low is 72.
Cool in the morning, warm in the afternoon.
It doesn't rain. It's unbelievable. Those that haven't been out here, listen, we would have been a week away. Would have been, no, not next week. Week after would have been high stakes advising. We're very disappointed. We held out as long as we could, for you guys, and we're gonna make it that much better. We're gonna see how things play out, and we'll get it back on the calendar. Jordan Belford will still be showing up.
Yeah, hey, you got to just remember, we live in and out here in the land of fruits and nuts on the far, far, far left coast. Enough said.
Aqua, I don't know who this is because your name is Aqua of 60 FPS. We've been mostly virtual while pre-COVID, all staff works from home, phone sisters transfer their cell phone, teams, etc. Yeah, it's been going on for a while. There's some great stuff out there because people can't, the bigger companies, they just can't have everybody locally. So they figured it out. We're the ones that are behind. Cody Parker says, BOAT stands for bust out another 1,000. I've heard that one before.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's like when people
tell me. That's a small boat, by the way, too, if it's only a G.
Yeah. We drove a guy's boat one time up, and then the wind caught like one of his, the leather that covers over the top of one thing. It's just a little hole. Guy's like, yeah, $1,100 to fix that hole. I was like, what? This is when I was young and had no money. I was like, so all the money in the world, $1,100 to fix the hole on the thing?
Where do you think hospitals learned how to charge? Those doctors were all sailors. They're like, damn, they can get that much for a boat? I could charge more.
Good business to be in. Good business to be in, guys. What else? I think we'll close it. We'll get the end and close it out there. Again, if you're listening on a podcast, check us out on the Facebook group or on YouTube, Heads Up Advisor. Again, Achieve Health Alliance. We're coming into the fourth quarter. We've got those solutions. True tested. Consortium's grown. Reach out to us. Zach Jones. Check us out. AchieveAlliance.com. Love to talk to you guys.
What about Dave? Show Dave some love.
Dave Kessler, newer guy for us. We hired a veteran underwriter. He's teaching us some lessons on how to structure those contracts, looking at the risk, help consult you with your groups, whether they're fully insured renewals, self-funded renewals. Give us a call. We'll be able to help you out.
Give me an example for those who aren't really familiar with an underwriter, since most brokers never get to talk to an underwriter.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reality is some of the stop loss contracts are not structured as good as they can be. Maybe there's too much insurance in them. Maybe they have no laser contracts where they shouldn't have one at certain sizes. Maybe they're not taking enough. If you're self-funded and you have a no laser contract, okay, can you take a little bit more risk? Can you put on what's called an aggregating specific to deal with it instead, where, hey, there's a premium offset to take the risk? Different contract types. You know, what's a fit for you? What's a fit for the customer? What do they understand? Can you do a 12-12 year one and convert to a 24-12? Does the customer understand that? Can you show it on a 24-month basis versus a 1-year basis? So adding TLO, adding it as an election at the end of the year versus prepaying it. There's so many different things inside that contract that you could squeak out and make work better for you and say, okay, this claim is this, that, or the other. Or do you have somebody on your side to fight with the carriers and the underwriters on why there shouldn't be a laser, why this condition is not a problem, and what workarounds we're going to do that, yeah, okay, you know what? You have this condition you're building into the cost. Laser that for me because I could take care of it here. Donovan, who's on, he gave me I like the way Donovan was thinking on one. We had a medication that was going to breach the spec. Now, it wasn't going to breach that much, but I just liked his way of thinking of saying, hey, can we go to the insurance carrier and say, laser me this year for that med so we don't get whacked at renewal or build in? Now, it wasn't a ton of money, so it won't make that much of an effect, but I like the way of thinking of, can we mitigate it and say, you know what, we'll take on the risk and, you know, help me out at renewal time. And that's proactively thinking, because what most people don't think is they don't realize the insurance is your partner on a stop loss side. Now, you know, fully insured, who gives a shit? But if you're looking to mitigate the cost for the stop loss carrier, okay, your partner, and they know it, and you're doing it even before you're trying to get high claimants off the plan, who do you think they're going to help at renewal time? Who do you think they're going to be easier on lasers, easier on helping you get through situations where, okay, this is a bad year for us, but this is a guy that we want. I mean, a lot of the guys we work with, I say, this guy gets it, and I'll fight with Cody and tell Cody, this is one of our guys. This is a guy that gets it, and he's going to do whatever he can to mitigate the risk and get them off the plan or find a way around it or jump in to manage the risk. So different ways to look at it. What do you say, Craig?
I say, yeah, I like the concept of, very simply put, when you have a future claim, you can either decide to convert that to a fixed expense today or keep it as a variable expense tomorrow. And so you get to decide how you design it, and being able to have access to an underwriter really helps in telling you what the options are, because you may not know all of the different ways to strategize around that. And it's really boils down to the simplicity of, do I want to turn that claim into a fixed expense or a variable claim?
Because every time you pay a stop loss premium, there's a VIG of 20% or so in it anyway, with taxes, fees, underwriting,
Sure.
you know, everything. Yeah. So it's not dollar for dollar. So if you can pay it outside the plan, even better. What else? I think that's it, guys. Guys, thanks for joining us. Hope this was helpful. Make your agency virtual. A virtual agency. Prestige of virtual agency gives you the ability to have a lot more options. Better life for you, better life for your employees. You don't have to have the, you know, Main Street, which I have a Main Street office, and that looks so nice, and customers have got to come to because they don't care at the end of the day. So, you know, does anybody check on it? Do what you want. Do what you feel comfortable. Hope it brought you some ideas. We will see you next week. Keep listening. Keep learning. Same time, same place. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Heads Up Advisor. Thanks, guys. We will see you on the next one.